Hi, I'm Hazel. It's Saturday today, which makes it time to sit down and catch up on the WoW news of the week, what I have been up to, and answer some of your questions. This week, we got an official release date for the next WoW patch. Fractures in Time, patch 10.1.5, is releasing July the 11th, so just a little bit more than 2 weeks away, right as the Winds of Sanctuary experience buff ends. There is lots of cool stuff coming in 10.1.5. I did a roundup video kind of totting up all of the different big pieces that I'm excited about, so I will link that below if you haven't seen it yet and you want to know what to look forward to. I am particularly excited about all of the quality of life changes for alts in 10.1.5, things like free flight training and allied races being unlocked for everybody and the welcome back gifts. Feels nice to have a patch coming out so shortly after 10.1. I know that when Blizzard first announced the roadmap for Dragonflight and like the patch release schedule, I certainly looked at it and went, well, I'll believe it when I see it, but it certainly seems like they're able to stick to this patch cadence, as they like to say, you know, like the pacing of the patch rollouts. So it's nice to have stuff to look forward to around the corner. As far as new things on the 10.1.5 PTR this week, cross-realm trading is coming to WoW in Fractures of Time. You are going to be able to trade things, including gold, items, whatever, to characters on other servers when you're grouped up with them. You could be raiding in a cross-realm group of raiders and then just have one person hand out files, food, without having to worry about, oh no, so-and-so is from a different realm, they can't take it. You can also gamble and raid with your gold cross-realm. That is a great quality of life change for a lot of people. One thing that I'm really curious about is if they are planning to extend this to sending yourself or other characters mail that includes items or gold cross-realm, because currently on the current PTR build, I tried to do that and it still wouldn't let me. But if they allow you to mail things like gold and items cross-realm, then that really kind of erodes one of the last barriers of individual server economies, which could be a good or a bad thing depending on whether or not you like your individual server economy. It could make it much easier to do things like sell rare transmog or rare pets. Maybe you got a rare pet to drop on a low pop server, but you just can't find a buyer for it. If somebody was able to easily transfer their gold to other servers, you might attract the attention to somebody that wants to send some gold to that server to buy that pet for their own collection. But you might find that those small servers suddenly have more competition for their black market auction house offerings, for example. You already get people like transferring characters to snipe things on low realm pop BMOs, but it would definitely happen a lot more if they didn't need to buy a character transfer for it. It's not clear to me yet whether or not they're planning to add cross-realm mailing, but I'm curious to see if that happens, because being able to trade things one-to-one is not that big of a step away from being able to mail things to yourself, so we'll see. They are also adding solo queue to Shadowlands raids in 10.1.5. You'll be able to visit an NPC in Oribos to solo queue yourself into any of the Shadowlands raids for the purpose of transmog or other cosmetics farming. The addition of this definitely highlights the fact that a lot of people are still waiting for some love to BFA raids to make them more soloable. Even though in good gear you can do plenty of damage to things, there's definitely fights in the BFA raids that just mechanically cannot be done solo. And it's not unheard of for Blizzard to add like mechanics workarounds for situations like that. So people still waiting to be able to get through, like Dazar'alor is a good example. There's a couple of fights in there that are a problem. And then moving on to Live WoW for this week, the Midsummer Fire Festival has begun and will run until July the 5th. There is one new thing this year. It's a toy. It will cost you 500 burning blossoms. It's called the Fleeman Ring of Flashiness, and it looks like this when you use it. It does a little fireworks display on an hour-long cooldown. If you are looking to get this new toy or any of the other cosmetics from Fire Festival, and you are also leveling alts with the experience buff, there's a great opportunity to double dip by using a high-level alt, flying them around to different bonfires, because you're going to get some experience from the bonfires as you're picking up burning blossoms. I took a level 64 rogue and got her to like 66, 67 or so while I was getting these blossoms. Also, don't forget that you can get an experience buff from Midsummer by dancing around a little pole. You can stack that up with your Rested and your Winds of Sanctuary and what have you. And if you're looking to mark the location of the bonfires on your map, you can use an add-on like Handy Notes with the Handy Notes Summer Festival plugin, or you can just get candy buckets. Either one of those solutions will put little markers in your map that you can use to fly around and go collect burning blossoms at the bonfires. Other things in live WoW this week, the final wing of Sarkareth LFR is open, so you can go in and queue up for Sarkareth, and good luck to you. Sarkareth has a chance to drop a specific dragon riding skin, as well as a chance to technically drop the Evoker Legendary. On the topic of the Evoker Legendary, Blizzard has issued some clarifications on how the drop rate works if you're farming Sarkareth in multiple difficulties. Effectively, what it boils down to is you want to kill Sarkareth, if you're an evoker like me that needs a legendary, you want to kill Sarkareth on the highest difficulty that you are going to for the week, and then you don't need to worry about killing it on any lower difficulties. If you kill it on heroic, that's your best chance for the week, and doing it on normal or LFR will not give you the legendary. If you killed it on LFR and then you went and did it on normal and then heroic, you would get a baby chance, and then basically like the differences that all add up to the same chance that you would have had from doing it on heroic, so it turns out to be the same thing with extra steps. So you may as well just do it once on the hardest difficulty that you're going to, and then you don't have to worry about queuing LFR if you're just in it for the legendary and you already killed it on normal or heroic or mythic. Also, if you are an evoker farming the legendary and you feel like everybody else has it but you, don't worry, I don't have one yet either. Other things going on this week, they doubled the Bnet friend cap from 200 to 400. So if you're like really popular or you just have friends in a lot of different games or something, then congratulations, you can add tons of people. They also added Splintered Sparks as one of the options from the Great Vault vendor that you shop from if you didn't get any good gear in your vault. I don't know whether or not I would recommend purchasing this unless you really have nothing else that you can possibly get, just because catch-up sparks drop pretty readily from things like Mythic Plus and raids and other things that you might be doing, so you might prefer to save those tokens to buy sockets for your gear, but it is an option that's available to you. And the Swift Shorestrider has been confirmed as our next Prime Gaming goodie for WoW, so that will become available not just yet, but starting June 29th and running until July 27th, Prime Gaming subscribers will be able to redeem a Swift Shorestrider mount for their WoW accounts, and as usual, I will link a post that has all of the details and the FAQs as to how to link your account and claim that. As always, I will put in a short plug that if you have Prime Gaming, you also have a free Twitch Prime sub to use on a streamer of your choice, like me, or someone else, or me. And then as far as what I've been up to, what have I been up to? I've started trying to grow hot peppers hydroponically in my office, just to see if I can. And then basically just leveling a bunch of alts in WoW while all of my friends play Diablo. And then questions for this week. I got a couple of questions about how I make gold in Dragonflight, and I just want to say I'm working on a video that digs into that in proper detail. Stay tuned. And then Nekatari wants to know, how do you manage your inventory? I keep running out of space with all the currency thingies, upgrade stuff, maybe useful equipment, materials. Bank is already full. My item hoard is crushing me. So I don't know if this is going to be helpful to you, but I am somebody that deletes and vendors items ruthlessly. If I do not need it for something important soon, it's gone. Any gear from like previous patches, previous expansions is gone. For example, on my main, I have my gear upgraded to a point where I don't really need Drake's Crest or Whelpling's Crest, so I delete Drake's Crest, Whelpling Crests, Crest Fragments. I don't keep any of that. I'm just about to the point where I can just vendor all of my Worm's Crests as well on my main because I don't need them, and after a certain point, they're just taking up space. I also don't keep materials around. Like, I know it's tempting with all of these vendors that want you to use like a bear spine and a bird foot to buy a piece of gear, but I just kind of vendor or sell all of it, and then I figure if I ever need more of it, then I'll buy more of it. I'm just basically using the auction house as my bank, and then if the price goes up, then whoops. If you are more sentimental than me, you can also make use of your void storage to store certain things. I can't imagine what else that could possibly be for, but you can go see a void storage NPC in a major city and stash some stuff in there. But I'm not that sentimental, so I just throw it into the nether. And Iron Park wants to know a couple of things. Is there a hard mode for the new Mega Dungeon? Will it 100% drop amount upon completion? And are you making a guide for us noobs to watch while playing the game? So, there's no separate hard mode to activate for the new Mega Dungeon. They said in an interview that the hard mode is basically baked in, so instead of having a hard mode, it's just a hard dungeon. I do not know yet if the mount that drops is a 100% drop rate. That's something that we're going to find out. And then I am going to try to make a guide covering at least the boss mechanics and the boss fights of the Mega Dungeon. if I can get that done before it comes out, then that would be great. I'm going to do my best. On the topic of the hard mode being baked in, actually, I've thought about that, and I'm not so sure how I feel about it, because the thing with Tazavesh was the hard mode was really challenging, and you would do it once, and you would get your mount and your achievement, and you'd feel accomplished, and then every other time that you did Tazavesh for like the rest of the loot, you would just do it the normal difficulty. I don't know if I want to do hard mode every time, but I haven't tested the dungeon yet, so I don't know how hard it actually is. We shall see. And that has been the week. Thank you very much for watching. If you have a question for a news video, please pop it in the comments and include the word question to help me find it. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.